students. How are you doing today? So this time we will continue our lesson on leadership training. All right. We already discussed some topics about leadership, but we will still continue with this topic. So I will just record the rest of the topic so that we can move on for the next topic that we are going to discuss. Okay, so this time, bear with me. I hope you have strong internet connection as you listen to this video lecture. Okay, so let me just put up my slides. Just give me a second. All right. So we are still on the topic of leadership training, okay, or leadership and the youth. Okay, so the art of influencing people to get the necessary support and cooperation. So that is one definition of a leader. Now, let's look at let's try to know what is a leader. So ano ba ang isang leader? How can we consider that a person is a leader? So I already told you and emphasizes that if there is someone that is willing to follow you, as long as there is someone that is willing to follow you, then you can consider yourselves as a leader. So that is the most common thing na mayroon ang mga leaders, a followers. Okay, so let's move on. So there are three types of leaders. So we can define leadership in three types. The first one is leader as a guide. Now, what is leader as a guide? Now, leader assumes the role as a director, organizer, mentor, guru, and advisor. Now, we all know that a leader can be also considered as a director, di ba? Halimbawa, if you are a director of a film, if you are a organizer, then you are giving instructions to different kinds of people, to different subordinates or different members of that organization. So you give directions as a leader. You are also a mentor. When we say mentor, is that if we are going to talk about in the perspective of professional education, we call that one scaffolding or the ZPD or the zone of proximal development or the MKO, the more knowledgeable adder. Meaning, say for example, I am more knowledgeable and I am a leader, so I will teach my subordinate those knowledge until such time that they will be able to stand for themselves. That is what we call mentoring. And the second one is guru or advisor. Guru is just a different term for teacher. That is guru and advisor. So if you are a leader, you are the one giving advices to your member. What else? A leader is also a front runner. Now, what do you mean by front runner? So, a leader can spearhead, leading light, trailblazer, and groundbreaker. Now, a leader should be the one who is spearheading. Meaning, as a leader, you are the one leading. Dapat ikaw yung nangunguna. Hindi sa uh, hindi sa panahon na there is task, you are just telling your members na ganito, gawin nyo ganyan. But as a leader, dapat ikaw yung nangunguna. A trailblazer. What do you mean by the word trailblazer? Meaning you are a pioneer. What do you mean by pioneer? Ikaw pa rin yung nangunguna. So you have started. You are building the foundation. That is what we call trailblazer. Okay. And the third one is a head. So as a leader, you are considered as the head. So leader can be called a chief. At the time of the pre-colonial era, we call our chief the datu, right? Okay, so that is the chief, the manager. Okay, so if you are a leader, you are managing your subordinates, you are managing people inside the organization. What else? You can be called a superior, a principal. If in the line of education, a leader is considered as a principal. So the principal is the one giving or leading the school, the one giving instructions to teachers, the one who communicates with the stakeholders of the school. Ano ba yung basic stakeholders ng school? We have the staff, we have the teachers, we have the students, and we have the parents. Those are the stakeholders of the school. What else? We call them boss. So if you are working with someone, your leader is your boss and also a supervisor because if you are working, you have a supervisor. Yeah. So that's some of the definitions of leadership. So as a leader, you're considered as a guide, a front runner, and a head. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, leadership. Now, leadership is a both a research area and a practical skill encompassing the ability of an individual or organization to lead or guide other individuals, teams, or entire organization. So what does it mean? So meaning, if you are a leader, that will be your research area, meaning you are trying to solve a problem. So paano ba nakikreate ang isang organization or team of individuals? Meaning you have the same values, the same principles, the same objectives, and the same uh, goals. So that's why you form that organization. So as a leader, your task is to guide your members in solving those problems and attaining those goals. So that is your research area. What else? A process of giving control, guidance, headship, direction, and governance. So, a process of giving control, meaning you are giving instructions, giving directions to your subordinates, to your fellow members, and guidance. So, you are guiding them kung ano yung mga dapat nilang gawin within that organization. So, ano ba yung mga processes? So, paano ma-achieve ang isang goals? Ganon. So, you have to disseminate tasks to your members. What else? Direction and governance. So if it is uh, in the line of politics, then that we can consider that one governance. So our leader in governance is our president, right? So our president is the one governing the country. So we can consider our president as our leader. So we follow our leader. We also express our opinions to our leaders. So that is leadership. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now, causes of failures in leadership. So bakit hindi nagiging effective ang isang leader? So bakit nagkakaroon ng isang failure? Ano ba yung mga dahilan niyan? So these are some of the reasons why there is what we call failures in leadership. Now, the first one is lack of teamwork and collaboration, meaning as a organization, hindi kayo nagtutulong-tulungan. Or as a leader, uh, you don't have the skills wherein you listen to your subordinates. You listen to your members. Kasi dyan nagkakaroon kasi ng teamwork eh. If you listen to the suggestions of your members kasi there are different perspective inside the group. So therefore, hindi lahat ng bagay as a leader alam mo. So you have to listen to other people, and that creates collaboration. So kaya if hindi ka nagko-collaborate with your members, nag-iisa ka lang na gumagawa, syempre there is a failure with your leadership. So, hindi ka talaga magiging successful leader. Okay, the second one is pessimism. Now, ano yung tinatawag nating pessimism? Meaning pessimistic, you are negative. So you always think negative. So if you are always thinking negative, say for example, if you have there are tasks inside the organization and always mo sinasabing hindi natin to kaya, hindi natin to kaya. So therefore you are a failed leader. So your members will not be motivated to work on that area. So that is pessimism. You are negative thinking leader. Okay. What is the third one? The third one is passivity. Meaning, as a leader, wala kang ginagawa. You are passive. So probably you are just giving orders to your members or subordinates. So that's why napapagod rin sila. So ikaw as a leader, you are just passive. Wala kang ginagawa. So as a leader, you should be a good role model and a good example to your subordinates. That's why passivity is causing failures in leadership. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is insecurity. Now, this one is very common, no, to some leaders in some extent. This is also actually common in our society as humans. This is our nature, insecurity. So we are insecure of ourselves. So if we don't have the confidence to guide and motivate our members, then we will be failed as a leader. Kasi uh, sasabihin ng member mo, eh, hindi ka nga confident na gawin yung mga bagay na yan. How would we believe you, di ba? So, paano namin yun gagawin? Eh, ikaw nga mismo, hindi mo kayang gawin. So, there are insecurities in you. So dapat, as a leader, you have the confidence to lead, not insecurities. What else? Recognition. What is this? Na tatabunan siya ng ano ko. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, recognition. Okay, wait lang. Okay, recognition seeker. Okay, as a leader, dapat hindi ka recognition seeker. Kasi dapat, supposedly, you are a servant leader. So dapat, you don't go for a recognition as a leader. Though it is our human nature that we long for recognition from other people. But as a leader, you should do your part. You should do your job, not longing for recognition. So pag alam mo namang ginawa mo yung best mo, kahit hindi ka na-recognize ng ibang tao, therefore, you will be an effective leader. Kahit hindi ka gina-appreciate, still, just do your job as a leader so that you will not be failed as a leader. Kasi pag nagkaroon ka ng insecurities when it comes to recognition, then you will be failed as a leader kasi you will not have the confidence to lead na those subordinates or those member of your organization. Okay. What else? Subjectivity, bias, and partiality. So, ibig sabihin, you are not fair to everyone in the organization. So, meaning may favoritism ka. So hindi ka nakikinig talaga sa kanila. You are not listening to both sides of the arguments or both sides of the ideas. So magiging failure ka as a leader if you are not fair to everybody. So you should be fair to all the members of your organization. So if this is the benefit that you are giving everyone, then you should give it to everyone in that organization. If someone uh, violated something on the rules and regulation of the organization, then you should give a due a punishment on that based on the right regulations of that organization, not favoring that person. Okay, so that is subjectivity, bias, and partiality. Now, the next one is lack of dedication, commitment, and sincerity. So as a leader, dapat meron kang dedikasyon sa trabaho mo. So if you don't have the dedication to be a leader, then wag ka na maging leader. Don't do it because time will come you will just be a failure leader. Kasi if you don't have the commitment, kasi commitment kasi, when we say commitment, that requires time. So as a leader, dapat you give your time to that commitment. And dapat you are sincere with that calling or with that vocation because we can consider leadership as vocation. Okay, so dapat as a leader, you should be dedicated, commitment, and sincere. So if you fail to do that, then you will be a failure leader. Okay. What is the next one? Dishonesty and corruption. Now, this is very common among political leaders, right? So you will be a failure leader if you have this characteristic. You are dishonest, hindi ka nagsasabi ng totoo. So dapat as a leader, you should tell the truth to your members. Of course, you should not engage yourself in corruption. Dapat you are a servant leader who helps everybody or help your organization, not a corrupt leader. So we have already experienced corruptions in our government, so we already tired of this word no corruption. So don't be a leader like this, a corrupt leader. So because you will be a failure leader. So iprotestahan ka lang ng mga tao, then you will be impeached from your position. Okay, what is next? Immorality. So this includes ethical standards and moral standards. So if you are an immoral leader, then you will be a failure leader. So if you don't have the right values as a leader, then you will be failed. And of course, we don't want a selfish leader, right? So a selfish leader is a not effective leader. So if you only kung gusto mo lang, yun lang ang gusto mong masunod, then that is selfishness. So, may mga idea rin yan, yung mga subordinates mo. So, dapat you have to listen to them. You have to give them the right incentives. You have to give them the monetary needs that they deserve, I mean. So, if you don't do that, then you are a selfish leader. Okay. So that is a one of the causes or some of the causes of reasons why there is failure in leadership. So again, lack of teamwork and collaboration, pessimism, passivity, insecurity, recognition seeker, subjectivity, bias, partiality, lack of dedication, commitment, and sincerity, dishonesty and corruption, immorality, and selfishness. Now, let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, now let's talk about servant leadership. Now, what is servant leadership? Okay, so servant leadership is a leadership philosophy in which the main goal of the leader is to serve. Meaning, as a leader, yung goal mo talaga is to serve the people or to serve your members or to serve your subordinates. So this is a different from traditional leadership where the leader's main focus is the thriving of their company or organizations. So dati kasi in traditional leadership, yung focus lang talaga is to improve the organization or ang pera lang yung pinag-uusapan or the position lang yung binibigyan ng importance. But as a leader, you should be a servant. So serving while leading. So servant leadership. Okay, so what are the principles of servant leadership? So we actually have 10, no? But on our lesson, I only mentioned 8. So we will add the two principles. Okay, so I will repeat the principles again so that for those who are not present in our discussion will be able to understand these 10 principles of servant leadership. Okay, so now what is the first principle of servant leadership? So that is listening. Now, what is the importance of listening? That is to seek to identify the will of a group and helps clarify that will. So ano ibig sabihin niyan? So in leadership, napaka-importante that you know how to listen to your members. Bakit kailangan natin makinig? Of course, in an organization, kasi hindi lahat ng bagay alam mo as a leader. So you have to listen to your members kasi may idea rin yan sila. They have different perspective on different things. So as a leader, your obligation is to listen on those ideas or to present ideas, and if they have arguments on those ideas, you have to listen to them. And kasi pag hindi ka marunong mag-listen as a leader, those members or those subordinates is hindi rin sila makikinig sa iyo. So that's why as a leader, learn to listen. Be sensitive enough in knowing their problems. Let's say, for example, if there are problems in an organization, listening is important. So that is your way as a leader to address those problems. So if you don't know how to listen, how can you address those problems? So that is why importante po ang makinig tayo. So especially sa lesson natin, so dapat nakikinig tayo so that we would be able to obtain learning by listening. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. The second one is empathy. Now, what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Meaning, you have the ability to feel other people's emotion. In other words, that is putting yourself in the shoes of others. So that is not literally na ilalagay mo yung sarili mo sa sapatos ng ibang tao. What I mean is that you are going to put yourself in the situation of other people. So halimbawa, kung ikaw rin ang sa sitwasyon na ganyan, ano yung magiging feeling mo? Ano yung magiging reaction mo? What will be your response? Okay, so that is empathy. The higher form of empathy is what we call discernment. So that is a biblical gift from God, discernment. Okay. Now, bakit mahalaga ang isang empathy in the principle of servant leadership? Kasi through empathy, kailangan nating intindihin yung mga members natin or ating mga subordinates. So malay natin pala, we are, sige lang tayo utos ng utos sa kanila. Tapos di mo na-realize na pagod na pala yung mga members mo. So, pag wala kang empathy as a leader, then those members will not be motivated. So probably pwedeng mag-resign yan sila and ayaw na nila magtrabaho sa'yo or hindi na sila papasok. So that is why empathy is very important. So you should understand your members. Kilalanin mo sila and build relationship with each other. That is empathy. So, kasi malay natin may mga pinagdadaanan yan sila sa buhay. So as a leader, you should know how to empathize with them. Okay? That is the second one. Now, let's proceed with number 3. That is healing. Now, bakit kailangan ng healing? Because In healing, there is a potential for healing oneself and those who have brokenness or broken spirit from a variety of emotional hurt. So, kasi sa isang organization, there are many people, different personalities, this different experience, and different problems. So, as a leader, isa sa mga trabaho mo is to bridge those gaps, to fill in those brokenness. So that's why time will come, you'll be able to heal those persons and to heal yourself also if you also have the problem. So sabay kayong lahat na mag tulong-tulungan in order for you to solve problems within the organization. So that is healing. Okay, now let's proceed to the fourth one. The fourth one is awareness. Now, what is awareness? Now, awareness is view most situations from a more integrated and holistic position. Now, sa isang organization, it is very important that you have awareness. So you should be aware of the rules and regulation of the organization. Let's say, for example, what else? You should be aware of the personalities of the people around you or around that organization. You should be aware of the moral and ethical standards as a member of that organization or as a leader. Kasi if you try to bypass ethical standards, then probably magkakagulo talaga sa isang organization. So, kung ano lang yung trabaho mo, just limit yourself sa bagay na yan. So, kung hindi pinapagawa sa yung bagay na yan, don't do it. But not necessarily this is if what I mean is that not necessarily na applicable ito sa lahat ng forms of organization. So there are organizations na pwede mo naman gawin. But in the workplace kasi, uh, parang tabu kasi siya na hindi mo trabaho gagawin mo. Okay? So kasi parang sampal sa tao kasi na yon na ginawa mo yung trabaho niya. And if mali yung pagkagawa mo sa trabaho niya, then probably you will be blamed from it. That's why importante na you are aware. So you do awareness. Have the skill of awareness. Okay, let's proceed with number five, persuasion. Now, why is persuasion very important in a principle of servant leadership? Now, persuasion, a leader can attempt to influence a person's belief, attitudes, intentions, motivations, and behavior in a positive way. Meaning, as a leader, you have the ability to influence other people. And how can you do that? You have to persuade other people. So, how can you persuade pala? Ano yung mga ways natin to persuade? Okay, you have to present data. You have to present the importance of what you are trying to implement or what are the benefits of those. So that is what we call persuasion. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide for number six. Okay, for number six, that is conceptualization. From the root word itself, conceptualize. Now, what does it mean? It is the ability to think beyond day-to-day realities with sensible and functional ideas. Meaning, you are trying to conceptualize. If you are a engineer or if you are a architect, then we can consider conceptualization as a blueprint. So, meaning, if you have a goal inside the organization, you have to create a plan to conceptualize those plans so that you will be able to achieve those goals. So that is conceptualization. Now, for number seven, we have foresight. Now, what is foresight? Now, foresight enables the several leader to understand the lessons of every or lessons and events from the past, the realities and phenomena of the present, and likely impact the decision of the future. So meaning that is solving a problem based on your previous experiences and your decisions today will matter in the future. So that is foresight. So you are trying to look forward. So meaning, kung ano yung mga magiging decision mo ngayon, that will affect the future of the organization. So as a leader, you have to take that into account. Okay, so what else? Okay, let's proceed with number eight, stewardship. Now, what is stewardship? Okay, stewardship is the priorities or the needs of others and empathizes the use of openness and persuasive or persuasion rather than control. So sa stewardship, uh, you are trying to prioritize the needs of others from your needs. So meaning, inuuna mo ang ibang tao kaysa sa sarili mo. So you are a selfless leader. So that is the wordship. So rather than control, you are persuasive. So meaning, hindi ka diktador na leader. You are trying to persuade them. Pero kung ayaw talaga nila, hindi mo pinipilit. So that is persuasion. And the last one is building company or building community. Okay, so what is building company or building community? Suggests that true community can be created among those who work in business and other institutions. So paano tayo magka-create ng isang community or company? We have to build relationship with each other so that we can find deeper understanding with each other. Kasi sa relationship tayo nag-uumpisa. So through relationship, nagkakaroon tayo ng building of community. So I already given you an example of that. So let me continue to next slide. So that is the 10 principles of servant leadership. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now let's talk about leadership behaviors. So we have four leadership behaviors. So ano ba yung mga behavior ng isang leaders? So the first one, we have authoritarian leadership. Now, what is authoritarian leadership? Now, authoritarian leadership leads men by means of the rank or position. So, meaning ikaw yung leader na nagbibigay ka ng importansya with the rank or position. So, meaning you are authoritarian. Kung ano yung gusto mo, dapat sundin talaga ng subordinates mo or ng mga tao around you if you are the leader. That is authoritarian leadership. Okay, the second one is paternalistic leadership. From the word paternal, meaning father. Okay, what does it mean? That leads men by always setting an example. Diba? If you are a father, you should be a good example to your children. So the same as with paternalistic leadership, meaning as a man, dapat you are setting a or as a leader, you are setting as a good example to your subordinates or to your members. Okay. Now, what else? The third one is participative leadership. Now, ano naman yung participative leadership? Participative leadership makes men participate actively in the activity, task in the organization. Meaning from the word participate. So there is a actualization na nangyayari. So as a leader, you are involving yourself in attaining those goals, in on or in planning or in everything that your organization doing. So you are engaging yourself. Sama ka talaga sa mga ginagawa nila or sa mga activity ng isang organization. So as a leader, dapat hindi ka passive. That is participative leadership. You are participating actively. Okay, and the last one is the laissez-faire leadership. Ano naman ito? So, leaves decision making to the subordinates. So, as a leader, mas pinipili mo na hindi ikaw ang magdesisyon. Meaning, you ask for the ideas or suggestions of your members. So, inihayaan mo na ang mga members mo ang mag-decide for themselves. So, more likely, congregational siya. Okay. So that is leadership behavior. So we have four leadership behaviors. Okay, now let's move on to the second one. Now let's talk about types of leader. Ano ba yung mga klase ng mga leader? Okay, the first one is the contributing leader. Okay, ano ba yung mga contributing leader? Now, si contributing leader focus on providing reliable information to the team. Kasi from the word itself, contribute. So, focus on providing reliable information. Meaning, si leader, nagbibigay siya ng mga reliable information sa kanyang team. Nagbibigay siya ng mga ideas, suggestions, directions, guidance that is contributing leader. Now, the second one is the collaborating leader. Si collaborating leader naman focus on fulfilling the overall goals and mission of the team. So, si collaborating leader, focus siya sa goal and mission. Nakafocus siya sa objectives. So, generalize itong si collaborating leader. Now, si contributing, more on contribution siya. Si collaborating, more on collaboration. So si contributing, nagbibigay lang ng idea. Si collaborating, yung idea niya, nagko-collaborate siya together with the members. And the third one is the communicating leader. Ano naman si communicating leader? Si communicating leader focus on the process by which the team attains its goal. So si communicating leader naka-focus on process. He or she focuses on the process, on how to attain those goals. So ang main focus niya is in communication. And the last one is the challenging leader. Ano naman ito? Si challenging leader. Challenging leader focus on enhancing team performance. So development of the members. So enhancing team performance through uh, God-like questions and comments. So yan si challenging leader. So you are trying to improve yourself and your members. So these are the types of leaders. So we have the contributing leader, the collaborating leader, the communicating leader, and the challenging leader. Okay, let's proceed with the next slide. Okay, now let's talk about the foundation of leadership. Ano naman yung foundation ng isang leadership? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foundation of leadership. Now, the first one is customer orientation. Now, we can associate this one in businesses. So dapat as leader, you know the orientation of your customers. Ano yung mga gusto nila, ano yung mga pangangailangan nila, what are their problems, because that will be your way to implement business. Kasi, di ba, nagsa-start naman ang business sa isang problem, right? So, that is consumer orientation. Now, the next one is people orientation. Ano ba yung mga characteristics ng mga tao within that community? Ano ba yung mga values nila? Ano mga kailangan nila? That is foundation of leadership. So, pag alam mo yan, you are an effective leader. Ano pa? Achievement orientation, meaning as a leader, your orientation is achievement. So you are trying to achieve a goal. You are trying to achieve something that is achievement orientation. Next is initiative. So as a leader, you should know how to initiate, meaning manurong ka manguna. So hindi ka na kailangang utusan, you already have the initiative to do things. Okay, so that is initiative. Now, the next is leadership. Na nakapaloob pa rin si leadership. So, you have to lead. The next is impact. Ano yung magiging epekto ng leadership mo sa kanila? Are you a beneficial leadership? Or ano yung magiging decisions mo? What will be the impact of that in the organization? And of course, self-confidence. So, as a leader, you should have self-confidence so that you have the motivation to do things. All right. That is foundation of leadership. Now let's move on. Okay, now let's talk about the 7 steps of effective learning. So bakit napaloob ang learning? Kasi nga in leadership there is learning. So how can we uh, do effective learning in leadership? Okay. The first one is to choose training according to your development review. What does it mean? Meaning, yung pipiliin mo na training is associated or magiging aligned siya sa skills na kailangan ng organization nyo or na skills na kailangan mo or ano yung skills na expert ka. So, dyan mo pipiliin yung training. Okay. What else? Define learning objectives. Okay, ano ba yung mga gusto mong matutunan? Learning objectives. Or ano yung mga gusto mong outcomes na ma-obtain after the training? What else? Build personal development plan or PDP. Yeah. So you have to create a development plan, a to-do list, or something like that. Be smart objectives. What is smart? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, or time-bound. Okay, so that is SMART objective. Now, number 5, discuss key learning with your supervisor. So, meaning, ZPD tayo, mentoring. Ano ba yung mga key learning na dapat mong malaman? Okay. Define actions and next steps with your supervisor. So, what will be your next steps? So, dyan na kayo magkakaroon ng evaluation, feedback, after niya. Okay, so that is 7 steps of effective learning. So, parang creating of lesson plan lang yan. Okay, next. Okay, so this is a SMART objective. Okay, the first one is the specific, winning. Ang objective mo is specific. The second one is measurable. So meaning, pwede siyang i-evaluate. The next is ambitious or challenging. So meaning, attainable yung objectives mo. So kaya siyang i-achieve. Hindi siya imposible. What is the next one? Realistic. The same. Or relevant. Meaning, your objective is relevant to your topic. Okay, what else? Time bounded. Meaning, kaya siyang matapos in a certain span of time. That is time bound. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the leadership qualities of great leaders. So ano ba yung mga qualities ng mga great leaders natin? So the first one is vision. Ano ba yung vision? Meaning, if you have a vision, you can see into the future. So ano ba yung mga pwedeng mangyari in the future? So you have a vision. What else? Courage. What is courage? You have the willingness to take risk. You have the motivation to do things. That is courage. And next is integrity, or kung sa Tagalog pa, integridad. What is integrity? The quality of being honest and having strong morals. Dapat as a leader, you are honest. And if you do that, if you do these things, you will be a great leader. What else? Strong moral principles and moral, ano yan, uprightness. Okay, let's move on. What else? Humility. So as a leader, dapat meron kang humility, meaning you are humble person. Dapat hindi ka hambog, kundi humble. Okay? Low-key lang tayo. Be humble. Be thankful that God given you that gift of leadership. Don't be a humbug. Okay? So next, strategic planning. Now, what is strategic planning? Strategic planning is able to set priorities. Ano mga dapat mong unahin na gagawin? Ano ba yung mas pinaka-importante na dapat gawin? You have to focus on that priority. So you have to focus your energy and resources, strengthen operations, ensure that the team members and other stakeholders are working towards both the team and the organization's common goal. So, dapat i-focus mo yung energy mo kung ano yung goal talaga ng organization. So, hindi sa ibang bagay. Okay, so that is strategic planning. Ano yung talagang priority, yun yung uunahin. Okay, what else? Focus, meaning you have the ability to concentrate on the pressing issues, concerns of the organization. Meaning you are focusing on the goal of the organization. If there are issues on the organization, you focus on how to solve that problem. And ano yung mga concern ng organization, you have to listen and focus on that. So kasi pag hindi ka nag-focus, how can you solve that problem if you don't know how to focus on those areas? Okay. So next one is cooperation. Now, what is cooperation? Cooperation is the ability to get everyone working and pulling together and attaining the organization's goal. So that is cooperation. Meaning, as a leader, you are cooperative. You get everyone working and pulling together. Lahat may ginagawa. Hindi lang ikaw or hindi lang ang member may ginagawa, kundi lahat may ginagawa. Depende sa specializations ng kanilang skills. Okay, so that is cooperation. Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk about characteristics of a leader. Ano ba yung mga characteristic ng isang leader? Okay, ito naman, I think this regards with different principles. Okay, we have the first one, proactive versus reactive. Ano ito? Always thinking 3 steps ahead. So meaning you are looking forward, foresight. Hindi pa nangyayari ang bagay-bagay, pinangungunahan mo na siyang, uh, meaning you are a visionary. Okay, yan. What is the next one? Flexible, adaptable, meaning you are able to adjust easily to different types of situations or surrounding. Marunong kang makisama, marunong kang mag-adjust in different situations. So dapat as a leader, you have that characteristic. Okay, next, good communicator. Okay, so dapat as a leader, you are able to understand, tindihin mo yung mga members mo, makinig ka sa kanila, listen, and leads members in the right direction. Ibig sabihin, dalhin mo sila sa tamang direksyon. Hindi na dalhin mo sila sa kapahamakan. So dapat as a leader, you are a good communicator. You are able to take it into account, their ideas or their perspectives. Okay, what else? Respectful. So as a leader, you should treat others with respect. So respect one another. So respect is earned, right? But if you give first the respect, I know you will also be respected. So let us respect one another. So be respectful. Kasi nga inside organization, there are different characteristics of persons. So dapat marunong kang makisama and marunong kang rumispeto. Respect each other's belief and respect each other's values. Okay. So that you'll be an effective leader also. Okay, ano pa? Quiet confidence, meaning you are humble. Being sure of oneself with humble intention. So, ibig sabihin, sigurado ka sa mga ideya mo. And di mo kung sa Ilonggo pa, ginapadayaw ang mga ideas na yun. So you are just a quiet confidence, meaning you are humble leader. Okay. What else? Enthusiastic, energetic, entertaining, and motivates people to work. Siyempre, if you are a boring leader, hindi rin mamomotivate yung mga members mo to do tasks. So that's why importante that you are energetic and of course entertaining din. Kasi dapat enjoy lang din natin ang pagtatrabaho natin in the organization. Dapat entertaining siya and motivates people to work. That is your job as a leader, to motivate each other. Okay, what else? Open-minded. Dapat open-minded ka. Bakit? Work to consider all options when making decisions. So dapat hindi lang kino-consider yung isang options. So there are many ways to solve a problem. Sabi nga nila, di ba? There are many ways to kill a chicken. Okay, so the same as with work or in making decision, there are many ways to solve a problem. There are many different ways to make a decision. So dapat as a leader, you are open-minded. Okay, what else? Resourceful. So dapat you are able to utilize kung ano lang yung available resources na meron kayo dyan. So marunong tayo kontento. Though we have to achieve naman talaga na try to improve those things. But dapat as a leader, resourceful tayo. Kung ano lang yung nandyan, kaya natin dapat yan i-utilize. Okay? So that is characteristic of a good leader. Okay, what else? Okay, let's proceed to characteristics of a leader. Number 9. Okay, I think we ended on number 8. Yeah, the resourceful is number 8. Now let's proceed with number 9. Rewarding. Now, what is rewarding? Now, rewarding is recognize each other's effort. That is human nature, di ba? We long for acceptance, we long for recognition. So, as leader, dapat marunong kang mag-reward. Well, let's say, for example, may mga nagawang maganda yung subordinates mo, members mo, you have to give them compensations. Or you have to thank them, motivate them. That is one way of giving rewards. What else? Well educated. So dapat as a leader, you are well educated, meaning you have the knowledge to lead. All right. Now let's proceed to the next one. Open to challenge. So dapat as a leader, you are open to challenge, meaning willingness to change policies, programs, and traditions that is already outdated and no longer beneficial to the group. So meaning if may kasi we cannot deny that there is development. So dapat as a leader, you know how to open to change. Kasi yan lang ang constant change. Dapat as leaders, yung mga outdated na ng mga bagay na hindi na siya applicable ngayon, then you change that na. O, yung educational system nga natin, naging obsolete na yung previously, di ba? Dati RBEC tayo, ngayon K to 12 na. Okay, so there is change. There's always change. So dapat marunong tayong tumanggap ng change. Okay, next, let's proceed to number 12. Now, let's talk about interested in feedback. So, as a leader, dapat one of your characteristic is interested ka sa feedback. Meaning, you listen to constructive criticism. View feedback as a gift to improve. So, meaning, there are always room for improvement. Dapat marunong ka makinig ng feedback. Ayan. Kasi hindi lahat ng bagay, alam natin, we are not perfect. So there is always room for improvement. So dapat interesado tayong makinig ng feedback. Okay, what is the next one? Evaluative. So as a leader, you should be evaluative. Will constantly assess and change programs and policies that were no longer working. Kasi sa mga organizations, may mga policies and mga programs na hindi na siya effective. So as a leader, dapat alam mo na i-evaluate yun siya and relevant pa ba siya na program? Kung hindi na, then we will change that program. Okay, so that is evaluative. Okay, the next one is organized. So dapat as leader, you are organized. You are always prepared and orderly in meetings, presentations, and events. Meaning, dapat you are organized talaga. Alam mo yung ginagawa mo. And sinusunod mo yung mga processes. So if you are not an organized leader, then probably magsala ka, di ba? So dapat maging organized leader ka. Okay, what is next? Meron pa ba? Yes, consistent. Dapat as a leader, you are consistent. What is consistent? Acting or doing something in the same way over time, especially so as to be fair or accurate. Okay, so dapat consistent ka as a leader. Hindi ka yung tinatawag natin na common sa mga Filipino na tinatawag natin mga skugon, right? So dapat tayo ganyan. Dapat we are accurate, we are consistent na hindi lang sa umpisa, magaling tayo, pagdating sa gitna, wala na. Dapat consistent. Okay, next, delegator. What do you mean by delegator? Able to delegate tasks according to each member's talent, skills, and abilities. So, marunong kang mag-disseminate ng task. Kasi hindi lahat ng bagay kaya mong gawin as a leader. May mga subordinates ka na mas expert dyan kasi they have different skills, talents, and abilities. So, you give that task to the right person. Kasi pag ikaw lang gagawa niyan, mapapagod ka talaga na leader, stress ka lang, magkakasakit ka. Dapat marunong kang mag-disseminate or mag-delegate ng task. What are the benefits of delegating task? Aside sa madaling matapos yung trabaho, syempre, yung goals, madali lang talaga siyang ma-achieve. Okay, what else? Initiative. What is initiative? Ability to assess and act upon things independently. So, meaning, hindi ka na kailangang utusan pa, you do initiate. Ginagawa mo siya kahit hindi ka inuutusan. That is initiative. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Okay, let's talk about leadership styles. Ano naman yung mga leadership styles? Okay. Okay, let's have the first one. We have the Lewin's leadership styles. So according to Lewin, meron siyang gipropose na tatlong leadership styles which is no pag-usapan natin kanina sa introduction. We have the autocratic which makes decision without consulting team members. Meaning, pag autocratic leader ka, you do not consult other people. Kung ano yung gusto mo, diretso mo na siyang ini-implement. That is autocratic, meaning authoritative. Next is democratic. Pag democratic leadership style naman makes the final decision, ikaw yung gumagawa ng final decision but includes team members in the decision-making process. So ito yung ating ginagawa sa Congress, democratic. So meaning, though ang final decision is in the president, but the decision-making process dumadaan sa Congress. But the final signing is in the president. But there is a check and balance on that, democratic. That is the, according to Lewin's leadership style, democratic. And the last one is the laissez-faire, leadership style. Gives their team members a lot of freedom in how they do their work and how they set their deadlines. Meaning there is openness. Hinahayaan mo sila kung anong gusto nila. So you let them decide for themselves. Okay? That is according to Lewin leadership style. Tatlo yung kanyang sinuggest. Okay, next. Let's have the Blake Mouton managerial grid. Okay, ano naman ito? People-oriented and we have the task-oriented. Yung mga people-oriented, they are the one who are focused on organizing, supporting, and developing team members. That is people-oriented. Developing the members of the organization. Pag task-oriented naman, focus on getting the job done. So kung ano yung goal, yun yung gagawin. But pag people-oriented, development tayo. That is Blake Mouton managerial grid. Okay, let's proceed with the Hersey Blanchard situational leadership theory. Okay, may tatlong nakalagay dito. Okay, the first one is it depends on the maturity of team members. So gaano ba ka-mature ang mga team members? That is the first one. You have to identify kung gaano sila ka-mature. The second one, if members are immature, a directing approach leadership is needed. Meaning, if pag na-identify mo na ang mga members mo in a group is masyadong immature, meaning wala pa masyadong alam, then you should be a directing leader. Meaning, you give instructions to them, you guide them every step of the way. That is a directing approach. The next, number 3 is if a members are more mature, if na-identify mo naman na more mature ang isang member, a participative delegating leadership style is needed. So pag maraming alam yung mga members mo, then you collaborate, you participate with each other, you suggest different ideas to each other. So that is Percy Blanchard situational leadership theory. The first one, identify mo ba kung mature siya or hindi. If na-identify mong hindi siya mature, immature siya, then kailangan mo siyang i-guide. Pag na-identify mo namang mature na siya, then you collaborate with each other. Okay, next. The path goal theory. Ano naman ang path goal theory? So, what your team members want and need. So, identify mo lang kung ano yung mga kailangan ng members mo, ano yung mga kinakailangan nila. Okay, that is the path goal theory. Now, let's talk about emotional leadership styles. 6 emotional leadership styles. Styles yan siya, tatabunan. I'm sorry. Okay. 6 emotional leadership styles. The first one is visionary. Dapat marunong ka mag-vision, visualize. You know how to look forward to the future, kung ano ang magiging result, mga decisions. Okay. The second one is coaching, meaning you are a mentor. Number 3, affiliative, meaning you affiliate with other people, meaning uh, you build your ecosystem kung sa ano pa. Meaning kinikilala kikilala ka ng ibang tao. You befriended other people. Pinapalawak mo yung affiliate ano mo or yung mga group of friends mo. Okay, yun na lang. Number 4, democratic. Meaning you let the members to decide, although you give the final decision, but you let them with the decision-making process. Now, pace sitting. Pag pace sitting naman, this is more on authoritative side kasi nagbibigay ka ng deadline. So, dapat in this certain time, dapat matapos yung isang goal. So, that is pace sitting. Next is commanding. So, si commanding parang authoritative din siya kasi nagbibigay lang siya ng utos. Commanding. That is emotional leadership styles. Okay, next. Let's talk about this one. We'll just leave this one kasi hindi na to kailangan. Okay, let's talk about transformational leadership. Ano naman yung transformational leadership? So these are the types of leadership. Kasi yung unang pinag-usapan natin, that is servant leadership. Now, ito naman is transformational leadership. Ano naman ito? Is a leadership style in which leaders encourage, inspire, and motivate employees to innovate and create change that will help grow and shape the future success of the company. So meaning ito yung style ng leadership wherein ini-inspire mo, then minomotivate mo yung mga employees mo to innovate, meaning to think beyond the box. So that is transformational leadership. So you always welcome changes in the organization. Okay, what else? Bureaucratic leadership. Ano naman si bureaucratic leadership? Is one of the leadership style postulated by Max Weber in 1947. So this is suggested by Max Weber. Ano sabi ni Max Weber? Sorry. A bureaucratic leadership is a leadership based upon fixed official duties under a hierarchy of authority, applying a system of rules for management and decision making. Okay, again, a leadership based upon fixed official duties. So kung ano lang yung duties mo, yun lang yung gagawin mo under a hierarchy of authority. Applying a system of rules for management and decision making. So, ibig sabihin, pag trabaho mo lang ang magsulat, then magsulat lang talaga yung trabaho mo. If trabaho mo ang mag-manage ng employees, then yan ang trabaho mo, management of employees. That is bureaucratic leadership. Okay, next, charismatic leadership. It is basically the method of encouraging particular behavior in others by way of eloquent communication, persuasion, and force of personality. Ano pa yan? Charismatic leaders motivate followers to get things done or improve the way certain things are done. Okay. So you are trying to persuade other people. So pinapakita mo sa kanila, minamotivate mo sila through kung paano ma-improve ang mga bagay-bagay and kung paano ma-improve pa ang mga bagay-bagay. That is charismatic leadership. So you are showing your personality, you are showing yourself, you are setting as a standard for that goal. Okay, so that is charismatic leadership. Next, ito yung servant leadership na discuss na natin. Is a leadership philosophy in which the main goal of the leader is to serve. Okay, next we have the transactional leadership. So from the root word itself, transaction is a style of leadership in which leaders promote compliance by followers through both rewards and punishment. Through a reward and punishment system, transaction leaders are able to keep followers motivated for the short term. So transactional leadership, short term lang siya. So if naka-achieve ka, then you will be given reward. If may mga mali ka namang nagawa, you will be given punishment. Okay, so that transactional leadership. Yan lang yan. Okay, so that ends our topic on leadership training. Thank you. So have a great day ahead. Okay, so I hope you are doing fine this weekend, no? So enjoy your weekends. Feel free to watch this video anytime. I will not give activities for this video, so free pa ang day nyo this week. But next week we will have our discussions on our new topic. So starting this Monday, magkakaroon tayo ng bagong topic. Okay, so ano pa ba? Just a few reminders. Again, I always remind this one that when coming to class, dapat naka-complete uniform tayo. So, if hindi ka naka-complete uniform, you will not be accepted. What I mean is that hindi ka papayagang pumasok sa klase natin. So, starting this week na yan ha, Monday, Tuesday, para sa TTHS, Tuesday. Okay. So, dapat naka-complete uniform regardless if previous time is your class, PE ang klase nyo. Okay lang na sasabihin okay lang hindi mag-uniform. No, hindi pwede. Dapat mag-uniform pa rin kayo. Okay? So what else? Especially during our class, huwag tayong masyadong maingay kasi medyo malaki yung gym. So hindi tayo nagkakarinigan. That is also one. Also, with regards to using your cell phones, reminders, don't use your cell phones during our class if hindi natin kailangan. Okay? All right. So, I think yun lang. So, have a great day ahead of you. For me, this is night. So, good night, everybody. So, have a great day ahead of you. See you on Monday on our face to face classes. Thank you and God bless everyone.